In this video, I will do a walkthrough of the various Merlin server menus. Let's get started by starting the server. This brings us to the main menu. In here, if you're not sure what to do, or if you're any other place in Merlin, you can always use the help command. This will give you a list of all the available commands depending on which menu that you're in, as well as a link to the wiki where you can find additional documentation. We'll say that all commands throughout all menus are tab completable, so you can also just hit double tab and it will show you which commands are available to you. One feature of the Merlin main menu that is not documented is the ability to turn on verbose and debug output. To do this, you do set verbose true, and this will turn on verbose output. You can also do set debug true, and this will turn on debug output. This is useful when you're trying to troubleshoot what's going on and you want to see increased messages or web traffic. Let's turn them back off real quick. Another feature of Merlin is that any command that is not recognized as a Merlin command is run on the underlying operating system. This comes in handy when you want to do things like figure out what your interface address is. Let's set up a listener so we can receive traffic from an agent. This feature is new as of version 0.9 and allows you to instantiate multiple listeners at one time. To do so, we'll just type in listeners. This will take us to the root listeners menu. In here we want to use, and then it gives you the options for which protocol of a listener you would like to use. Let's do the HTTPS. What this does is it loads up a template of configurable options that we can set for a listener. If you're not sure what commands you can issue from here, you can again type help and it will give you a listing of all the available commands. Info will show you all the configurable options that are here. These are the default settings, but we like to change them for our actual listener. Let's set the name, set the description, we'll set the pre-shared key to something besides Merlin. We'll set the interface to all interfaces. And we will also set the URL that the agent will check back in on. This feature is also new as of version 0.9. In the past, all traffic just went to the root directory or /. Alright, let's check to make sure we have everything configured correctly. And then we can go ahead and start the listener. Note this verbose message here tells you that it could not find a TLS certificate at the specified directory, so Merlin will create one for you. This certificate is self-signed, so I do recommend that you actually provide a path to a valid SSL certificate if you're going to use this. And if you want to see a list of all the available listeners, you can just type list here and it will show you all the configured and running listeners. If you want to interact with one that's running, you can just type interact and then tab complete and it will pop up the name of the listener. Let's go back to the main menu. We're going to go ahead and check in an agent really quick. We got this command already typed up with the information that we use to configure our listener. All right, we can see here that a new agent checked in. From the main menu, you can type sessions and it will show you a list of available agents. The agent name is a long GUID string, but you can use tab completion to interact with them. Again, if you're not sure what options you have available to you, type help and it will tell you all the commands that you can use. Let's take a look at the agent's information really quick. Here's a quick view of the configured options for the agent, where it is running at. Sometimes when you're in the middle of an operation, you're not sure if your agent's died or not, and you don't want to necessarily see this big screen over and over again. So there's a simple command. You could just type status, and it will just quickly tell you if your agent is active, delayed, or dead. Also, Merlin has a couple built-in commands that just leverage Go code to execute them and do not call executables on the underlying operating system. One of those is print working directory. Let's issue that command real quick. Or we can also just issue commands to the agent directly. We'll call the cat executable, and we will pass in this argument to look at the passwd file. All right, let's return to the main menu. Next, we're going to take a look at the available modules in Merlin. Modules are also tab completable and are broken out by operating system, architecture, language, and function. Since the agent we have is on a Linux host, we want to use a Linux module. To use a module, you type use, module, and we know we want to use Linux, and then we'll tab out. And we're not sure exactly which module we want to use, so we can hit tab again. We'll bring up a list of all the actual options. Let's go ahead and use this linenum module. If you're in the help menu, if you're in the menu and you're not sure what commands to issue, you can type help. Let's take a look at the module options really quick. These are all the configurable options. Note that the only one required is the agent. We only have one agent checked in. We'll go ahead and set it to that. I do want to highlight that there is an option called all. If you set the agent to all, it will run the module on all agents that match the module's operating system. So if this is a Linux module and you have a Windows on Linux agent checked in, it will actually only create a job for the Linux agent. All right, let's give this a run. And we can see that that module completed and returned the output to us. Let's go ahead and return to the main menu, and I'll show you one last undocumented trick When you go to exit Merlin, you can type exit and it will try to kill the server. I added a prompt so that way you don't accidentally shut down the server when you still have agents checking in. The prompt asks you to confirm with a yes or a no, but sometimes you are definitely sure that you want to exit. So this undocumented feature, you can do tac Y for yes, and I'm gonna go ahead and exit the server directly.